Hi everybody, Thirstbuster here with my first ever video log. Now, I'm doing this, it's 10 o'clock at night, and I've actually got to be going out to Colorado in a few hours. So I'm doing this very last minute. I should have done it sooner, but I kind of waited. I wanted to get Aesop Razor in on this, but it didn't happen. That's fine. And another thing, I wanted to talk about a much lighter mood. Not mood. Lighter subject for my first log, but that, considering what happened a few days ago, earlier this week, I kind of wanted to talk about this because it affects me a lot, and I know it affects a lot of other people. Other thing, the video in the background. I don't have a lot of related footage right now, so I don't know right now what it's gonna be. It might be Eve, it might be some Morrowind from the Morrowind Let's Play, or it might be Heroes and New Earth. I don't know. It depends on how long this video is, and really how long I have to edit it. Anyways, onto the subject. Earlier this week, Microsoft held a press conference on the new Xbox system. And so far, as far as what I have seen, it is bad. What people are saying is that Xbox could not have screwed up anymore. And there are a few reasons. I'm sure some of you already know. Some of you are just finding out. So let's go down the list. The first thing, the name, Xbox One. That's stupid. Xbox 720 was much better because it went along with the theme of the Xbox 360. But in the end of the day, the name really doesn't matter. I just think it's stupid, and I want to bring that up. I don't know how many of you guys remember back when the Eve, what am I saying? Back when the Wii came out, everybody thought that was a stupid name, but it stuck and we got used to it. It's whatever now. But to the real points, the first real issue, it's not backwards compatible. That right there is a slap to the face to every Xbox owner, whether you own the original Xbox or the 360 or both. Probably most of you own both. And I remember when the 360 came out, it was backwards compatible as well as the PS3. And the Wii had its own marketplace. And actually the Wii was backwards compatible, and then you could get games from older systems like the 64 or the NES and stuff like that. But the Xbox One in no way is it backwards compatible. That means if you want to play Halo 3 and you have an Xbox One, you have to set up another system. And this might not be an issue to people who only buy Xbox, but say people who have a Wii and an Xbox, or PS3 and an Xbox, or all three. And there are even some people that have all three and older systems. Not being backwards compatible is just stupid. It's so easy to make it that way that it should automatically be in the system. And like I was saying earlier, if I want to play Halo 3, I have to disconnect my Xbox One and reconnect my 360. It's just tedious work that is ultimately an annoyance. And it's not that. What's the point? Why make us do that? Do they want us to buy another 360 while we're at it? You know, it's not backwards compatible. Your 360 just died, so you're gonna buy an Xbox One well, you can't play all those other games, so you got to buy a 360 again. I don't know if that's what they're trying to do. It's maybe not, but it's kind of dumb. Anyways, it's a. I hope this isn't true, but apparently, and I haven't seen the press conference, to be honest. I just haven't had the time. I've been kind of busy this week. Uh, it's a TV focused console, uh, which when the 360 and the PS3 came out, to me it seemed sort of like that was what the PS3 was. That it was more of an overall entertainment system. It was a sound system. It was a console. It was a Blu-ray player. It was all that, and which is cool. Despite being a big Xbox fan and having my share of PS3 bashing, I've never really seen the PS3 as a bad console. I've always liked it. Unfortunately, I've never owned one. And the same for the Wii. I've always thought the Wii was a good console. Uh, each console has its strengths, and for most people, they like the 360. But at the start of the recent console war between those systems, the PS3 kind of lacked in multiplayer, and that's what gave the 360 its edge. And it might be because Sony branched out a little bit too much. In the end, it's still a solid console, and always will be. But the 360, I mean not the 360, the one, the Xbox One, is already coming in at a disadvantage by not being a just 100% gaming console. And it's just not TV focused either. It's having to download games to your hard drives. You can never have to plop them in again. Uh, it's the half a terabyte of space. I mean, you're gonna buy all these games, and with graphic improvements coming up, they're gonna get big. They're not gonna be a couple gigabytes or 10 gigabytes. They're gonna start getting bigger, and that system is gonna fill up fast. And you know what's gonna happen is if that is the biggest size, maybe we don't know for sure if it's the biggest size. So far, it seems like it is, but maybe at E3 they will have a bigger one. Who knows? But it's too much like a PC, and there's no point to that. If you want a console that's like a PC, just buy a PC. It's that simple. I don't see getting an Xbox One for its PC like qualities if I've already got a decent PC. I don't have the greatest, but it's good. It works. It does everything I need it to do. The other thing, Microsoft is saying that the graphics are going to be far more improved. But what they have said so far is really nothing new. The PS3 already has graphics like that. I think other games have the kind of graphics that it's talking about, even on the 360. So it's kind of like those truck commercials, for those of you who still watch TV, where, well, really not just truck commercials, but car commercials, where they're saying this car has something special in it, something new, when in reality that has been around for so long. It's so standard, no one actually remembers it's there. It's not. It's like saying our car is better because it has power steering. Well, every car has power steering. Every car nowadays is built with power steering. So an Xbox One being better because it has graphics that other systems can already use and have already, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I mean. It's not appealing. There's no It's nice. Alright, graphics are nice, but if you're a true gamer, you're in it for the gameplay. I'm sure there are plenty of you still play Legend of Zelda, the original, Super Mario, Sonic, all those games from back then. And I do too. I'll sit here some days and I'll play Sonic. Anyways, what else? Oh, right. Used games. This is probably the worst. In my opinion, it is probably the worst. Well, actually, looking at my list here, there might be one more that's worse. It's gonna be between these two. But as for used games fee, it's ridiculous. That means I can no longer go down to GameStop, which I honestly haven't done in a while. I can no longer go down, buy a game, and then play it. That was a huge selling point for GameStop. I sold my Modern Warfare 4 game disc. A couple years later, I'm like, why did I ever do that? I bought one for $3 or $10, something like that. It was cheap. Imagine what if some of you had done that and had to come home and had to pay another fee on top of that. And they haven't said what it is, as far as I know. Is it going to be a full-priced game? Is it going to be maybe half? $50? 40? 10? If it's 10, it better be like $1 game. I mean, every game better be sold at GameStop for like $1. And even then, there are games that GameStop sells for $3. So the game better be worth it to pay $10. And I don't see very many games. I mean, just go down to a GameStop or anywhere where you can get a used game. How many of those games are actually still worth more than $10 used? There aren't very many. So I don't see this fee being any lower than 10. If it's lower than 10, maybe it's not bad. But if you have to pay that fee on top of every used game, it's not good. They're going for your wallet is what they're doing. And this part to me is the worst because about a year ago, I think it was at the end of the school year. A few of my friends are in college. I'm not in college. I already finished that. And we were like, hey, a friend of mine, he might be on the channel pretty soon. We might do a collaboration. He was like, hey, let's get together. Let's play some Gears of War. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's play Horde. And we agreed, right, let's play Horde. But I don't just want to play Horde with the two of us. We can do that online. Let's do Horde with a bunch of us. And I know we can do that online too. But let's do like the old days, right? Like when we were in high school. We just go over to each other's houses. We played games all day. So we're like, yeah, let's do that. It's been so long since we like really hung out with our friends. Let's go for it. So we went over there one day. Ordered a bunch of pizzas. I think we got some Del Taco or something. And we had three TVs. I think it was, 3 TVs, 3 Xboxes. And 2 of us are sharing, one person has their own screen. I mean, 4 of us are sharing, one has their own screen. And we're just playing there. We're doing wave 1 of Horde to wave 50. And it was one of the greatest times I've ever had. Just me, 4 other friends, hanging out, playing Gears, and eating junk food. It was a great day. But I bring this up because as we were getting set up, one of us forgot our Gears disc, and it would have sucked if one of us didn't have an extra. Not that we had an extra, but we all brought one, so we did have that extra, and so no issue. But could you imagine? You set this thing up, and it is a pain to set up. Everybody, you know, we're not teenagers anymore. We're not in high school. We have our schedules, so you got to find that day. You got to get the TVs. You got to bring the Xboxes. You people who don't have cars have to have rides. All this. And imagine if at that last moment you're one disc short, and then you got to pay a fee to play another one. What if you can't pay that fee because maybe you didn't bring a debit or a credit card? It's stupid. Anyways, to my last point, and the point that potentially might be worse than what I just mentioned. Always online. I don't even know where to begin on this one. And I'm starting to think that maybe this is just worse. For a long time, I lived in an area where, and actually, to be honest, I still do, but it's a little bit better situation. I lived in an area where I could not get decent internet. For the longest time, and I hate to admit this, I had to use dial-up, which means my Xbox could never be online. And that sucked. And slow internet, all this. Well, what about those people who are still in that situation where they can get good internet, but it's expensive, and buying the Xbox already is kind of is pretty difficult because of how expensive it's going to be on release. Even if they wait, I don't know. I don't really know what the cost of one is. Say 150. That might be a little low. People who might not be able to afford expensive internet might not be able to use this console, and that's unfortunate because there are a lot of Xbox fans out there, and some of them are going to get screwed over because of the online requirement. And I don't know how many of you remember this because it was just a few months ago, 2-3 months ago. SimCity and EA, one of the worst, or honestly the worst game release ever. So bad that people were buying a second copy, a digital copy, after buying a physical copy because for whatever reason it worked. I have my opinions about that. I think they did it on purpose, and it sounds like they did. But it was really bad publicity for EA. And it's going to happen to Xbox. It's going to happen to Microsoft. That's not going to be good for them. And I don't know. I have been an Xbox fan for a long time now. Since the 360 came out. A little bit before then too, even with the Xbox. But I never got to own an Xbox. I was back then still more into the GameCube. And I did want to get a Wii when it came out, but I was convinced to play an Xbox. And I was never regret that decision. I never did regret that. That was when I went to school out of state. I was almost my best friend there. Sad to say, even though I played online, obviously, with my school friends. And I don't see the Xbox or Microsoft being a legit gaming console company anymore. And to me, having played my 360 for so long, I still have it. I got a new Xbox Slim. I got about a year ago. That's just a huge stab in the back to me. And I'm very disappointed in Microsoft. They have been, in my opinion, a very good company in the past 20 years. But to do this where they clearly did not make this console for the gamers, that's turning your back on your most loyal fans. And even though I don't hate Sony, I think the PS4 has already won this war. And that's just unfortunate. This has been Thirstbuster, and I will see you later. Bye.
You should push top, but okay.
No, let's switch directions. Just make sure all of our lanes are pushing. Guys, go to top. You're right. Guys, let's fucking kick over this tower.
Yeah, they're distracted on me.
What's his face? Hey guys, look what I got. Soul's blessing. Double tap. One of your structured hat trick.
Good job, guys.
Hey, that was a good ass team. Good game, fools. I'm gonna fucking add you guys. You guys are tough.